version 9.1 came out today for Fortnite, as today's update has tons of new content and bug fixes. So let's jump right into it. Now guys, we've seen for the last 2 or 3 days that Fortnite has been advertising this collaboration with Jordan, the athletic brand. Now we finally know what it's about. So there's a brand new game mode called Downtown Drop, which you guys are watching right now. And there's tons of challenges associated with it, with the brand new skins that came out in the item shop. We'll dive a little bit more into that here in a second. But starting right off, we have what's known as hotspots. So every game, there's going to be at least 1, maybe 2, there's a chance for 3 as well, hotspot locations that will be marked in gold. Now, at that hotspot, there's going to be a higher chance of loot, higher tier loot, as well as these random supply drops that are a tad different from the typical balloon supply drops. These are actually flown by drones. You shoot down the drone, and the package automatically explodes on impact when it hits the ground, and a rare or better weapon will spawn with 2 full clips of ammo. So if a rocket launcher falls, you get 2 rockets. If an SMG falls, you get 2 full mags, so 60 rounds, etc, etc. So those are very cool. Keep an eye out for that too, especially if you need ammo or another weapon. Moving on, they went ahead and changed up the LTM rotation a little bit as per usual per week. So now these LTMs will rotate from sniper shootout duos, unvaulted squads, and close encounter squads. So very cool there. Nice little change up there. Moving on to weapons and items. Now there's a couple surprises here I was not expecting. One being which they unvaulted the semi-automatic sniper rifles. Now we haven't seen this thing since I believe season 5 or season 6. Such weapon can be found in vending machines, chests, and floor loot, and it is available in uncommon and rare variants. Now, Epic Games went on to justify such unvaulting as saying, since the thermal rifle and scoped revolver have both recently been vaulted this week, we wanted to bring back an oldie but goodie to round out the medium to long range item lineup. So, very cool. I'm excited to use it. I'm probably going to hop into Team Rumble, kind of get used to it again before I actually use it in solo, duos, and squads, but we'll have to see. Moving on, the combat shotgun got some reduced availability and a reduced drop rate. So it reduced the availability from floor loot from 2.015% to 1.4%, and it reduced the availability from chest spawns from 2.83% to 1.846%. So nothing drastic too much there. Not kind of the changes that I was expecting in terms of maybe they were going to amp up the damage or the damage fall off, etc, etc. But we'll get into that here in a second. They also went ahead and changed the shadow bombs. So they reduced the availability from floor loot from 0.835 to 0.67, and then they also reduced the availability from chests from 4.6% to 3.98%. Then they also went ahead and reduced the drop count from 3 to 2. And they actually mentioned and referred to the arena mode as to why. Because they see a lot of players, stacking these shadow bombs until the very end. And then they want to make it more of a commitment to the shadow bombs instead of finding 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 of them right away. They actually want you to be committed to using the shadow bombs if you actually want to use them late game. Moving on to some bug fixes. Dropping part of a consumable item stack no longer interrupts using the consumable. So if you're using a med kit and you have an extra one and you want to give it to a teammate, you can drop it now and it won't cancel out the current med kit that you are using. Shadow bombs correctly leave the player's inventory when no charges are left. Shadow bombs are consumed properly when quickly picking up a replacement item during activation. Combat shotgun now applies appropriate environmental damage falloff. So that's going to be big when using the combat shotgun. Ability to move is no longer lost in Rift to Go when using balloons. The bush now correctly attaches to players in specific animations, such as skydiving. Resolved inconsistent behavior while using flint-knock pistols during crouch. Air vent audio is now correctly removed upon destruction. Boogie bombs now properly prevent affect players from skydiving. Camera issues when exiting a mounted turret have been resolved. And remote explosives will now open and close what with doors they are stuck to. Moving on to gameplay. This is what I was talking about earlier. So with hot drops, right? Each game you hop into, there's always going to be one hotspot, and then there's a 25% chance for 2 hotspots, and then a 5% chance for 3 hotspots. Now in each hotspot, there will be higher tiered loot, as well as these brand new loot carriers. So these drone looking things that I mentioned in the beginning of the video. Now, the loot carriers drop a weapon of rare or higher quality, along with 2 stacks of ammo. Hotspots will have between 12 and 16 loot carriers depending on the size of the location. So obviously you're in Paradise Palms, you'll have more than if it's over by Frosty Flights, for example. Moving on, they fixed the issue while equipping the blueprint to start building, has improved in high latency situations, added crosshair dot wall skydiving to allow for more precise map marking. Awesome. Bug fixes. Players were not able to exit vehicles in some cases, so they finally fixed that. That I know I really got heated on, and I talked a little bit more about that in our Road to Level 100 episode 1 from last week. I will link that down in the description below if you guys do want to watch that. Highly recommend checking that out. They fixed an issue with auto material swap canceling turbo build if the client didn't predict the material amount quick enough. Update the environmental and cozy campfire trap collision to better allow players to walk over campfires. They went ahead and fixed the fact that players can no longer fire/reload weapons while reviving a down but not out teammate, as well as contrails are no longer stuck on players if they drop from the bus directly into a slipstream. Moving on with performances, they fixed a regression in level streaming performance introduction in version 9.0. This should significantly improve loading times for buildings and reduce instances of players landing on low LOD meshes. So they also reduced hitches shortly after landing, especially on lower end hardware like the Switch or mobile. They also went ahead and fixed a ton of audio issues as well. I'll link that down in the description below. But let's move on to the UI. So they changed the return to lobby text to say leave match. Not big update there. They went ahead and adjusted the damage color when taking shield damage back to an increased contrast version of the original. So the intent behind this is to increase readability of current shield value immediately after taking damage, but red was causing players to believe they were taking more damage than they actually were. So party leaders who left their party's current match could start a new match and take the entire party with them, so that bug is now fixed. Again, guys, there's tons of other mobile, save the world, and creative updates, which I will leave in the description down below. But for right now, guys, that is it. I will see you guys later. Top box is that previous video. Like always, we uploaded a Fortnite number 6 location today. Definitely check that out, as we are uploading so many Fortnite location videos. We're literally uploading every single Fortnite location on the map, and that bottom box is a mystery video like always. I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Have a great day.